How many of you have read the name which is popping on the screen? Everybody has heard this? Can I see hands, please? Perfect. Now, there's a tradition in India. When we greet each other, millions and millions of people say Ram Ram. We greet each other by saying Ram Ram. This was the first question ever that I had in my life, after which I got my first ever viral video. 18th May 2023. हम राम राम दो बार क्यों बोलते हैं? Why do we say Ram twice? That was my question in the video, which got me 29 million views in that one. After that, if something happens for the first time, we might think that it is luck. But if something happens repeatedly, again and again, it means there's a pattern which you need to understand. So the 3 reels which you can see on the screen, the first one had 101 million views. The second one, 74 million. The third one, 67. So these are few of the videos that I've showed, that I've displayed, to make you understand that getting viral is no magic. Getting viral is no luck. There's something about a human brain, about the behavior of a human that you need to understand. The 3 steps to go viral. What are the 3 steps? It starts with the belief system. This is the core ingredient to get viral on internet. And when I say internet, I don't really mean only short form content or just Instagram. I mean the entire internet. Next is curiosity. Belief system, curiosity, and the last one is optimization. Now, to understand the belief system, you have to know a little about me. Hi, I'm Raghav Sharma. By profession, I completed my engineering back in 2020. By profession, I'm a podcaster, I run a media company, I'm an entrepreneur, and also run an NGO for underprivileged children. So this is the story of 2019. Back in 2019, I went to London School of Economics. I did a course there, a summer school. Back then, I remember when there was this beautiful event organized by LSE, I saw this something very interesting. In the college itself, I could see that wine was being served. Beer was around. Now, I have always been a teetotaler, and my friends around, they insisted me. We are all away from home. Why not to have, let's do cheers and let's enjoy the party. This is what message I got from my society. Now, I have always had this thing in my mind that all the decisions I want to take in my life, I want to take it consciously. I don't want somebody to impose their things on me. I took a decision that day. I don't want to drink just because of somebody else. I remember during my visit, it was a Tuesday, I went to a Hanuman temple. So there's this place called Hendon. It was Tuesday, everybody was partying. It's not that I didn't party, I did party. But I don't know, something happened in between. I felt that yes, all of these things are happening, but it's a Tuesday. And we've been taught since our childhood that Tuesday ko Hanuman ji ka darshan karne hai. I took National Railways, I remember, because I was in central London. I went to Hendon, I went to this Sri Hanuman temple. So why I'm narrating this entire story is, I want you to know my belief system. My belief system is very simple. It was, is, and will be. God's grace, Raghav is a spiritual person. This is the belief system that you need to find within yourself. This is the core thing that you need to find. It might be something else for you. It might be, maybe you are maybe an atheist. You are somebody who thinks something else. So you need to find, because this is your journey. Until and unless you don't know who you are, you would never be able to connect with anybody else. Forget the audience, forget people, forget virality. So this was the concept of belief system. Next comes is curiosity. Ask a very simple question. Go back home, ask yourself, what excites you the most? Think of yourself as a 5-year-old, maybe a 7-year-old. What questions did you ask your parents about? I like this car. I like this bike. I want to travel somewhere. This is who you always have been. But because of the world, maybe with time we have changed. And we forget who we are in the truest self. Now, for me, what excited me is this man. He is Shri Rajiv Dikshit ji. I remember in my college days, or even before that, I used to open the internet and I used to find about my country. There's always if I talk about myself, if there's one thing I've always been excited about, was Indian history. And he was the man who inspired me to the core. He talked about 1857 revolution, the first war of independence that was fought by Rani Lakshmibai. I got goosebumps when I heard. I got goosebumps when I got to know about Chandrasekhar Azad when he went to his village to meet his parents. This is what excited me to the most. And that is what I say curiosity. So now this translates to Indian history excites me. Belief system, spirituality. What's the second most important thing? Curiosity. What excited me? Indian history. I want to know about what has happened in the past, how we got independence. I want to know, and this was the biggest reason which has translated to the mission of my life, that is to make India great again. Until and unless we don't know who we are, we will never be proud of how and what kind of sacrifices this country has gone through. Now, combining both the things, when belief meets curiosity, it sparks virality. Now, interestingly, my first viral video, I've never thought about it. But because of this talk, I was just contemplating. The first video was, Hum Ram Ram Do Bar Kyun. So this is a public park. Today I'm having my own company, I have my own studios, everything is there. But this had no script. I was just walking in the public park, I was talking about something. There was no strategy, there was nothing YouTube, nothing. I was in the park, I just spoke about something, what I felt like, and it got 30. So now the thing was, because my belief system was spirituality, it came from within. I didn't have to act for somebody. I didn't have to do something. I didn't have to copy anybody. It was coming from within. That is what I mean when I say you should have your own belief system. Because when you see people getting viral, you'll be like, I want to do this. I want to do that. No, this is not the way. You have to find yourself. And that is your belief system. And this was my belief. So belief system, when meets with curiosity, curiosity is, hum ram ram do bar kyun bolte? I have a question for you. Think for yourself. Within that particular niche, why do we do this? If you have a question, if that is sparking curiosity, this will lead to virality, and I promise you that. I have seen it myself multiple times, and you can also replicate it. Now, comes is the most important ingredient. That is optimization. Something very interesting happened. So this was, if I talk about my videos, I started creating the short form content back in 2022. Now I was creating videos. If I talk about views, I think I must have crossed over 1.5 billion views on my own channel. So the name of my channel is The Moving Ship. So I started creating content. I was getting viral. I could see numbers on the professional dashboard, but I couldn't see any number in my bank account. That is a big problem. I was seeing good numbers, yes, but I couldn't see anything coming in, and that was a problem. I wanted to think about it, what to do. Now, I realized a few things, and this is a pattern of my understanding. If you talk about specifically Instagram, these are two niches that can give you good results in a very short interval of time, provided you're good in everything. Number one is lifestyle. And I'll explain you why. Why is more important? Lifestyle, daily vlogs, travel content, fashion, beauty. Suppose I have a skincare brand, yeah? I have a skincare brand, and I want you to do a video. I ask you and I pay you, say, X amount of money for that promotion. What I see, when you are connecting with your audience, maybe on a vlog, then that person is trusting on you and is purchasing that particular product. That is why a brand would want to pay to a vlogger. Now, coming to a fashion brand, for example, I want to do something traditional. Diwali is just coming. So I know that I have created something really great. Let me send it to a fashion influencer. Because of that individual, he's already having an audience. He is doing fashion. Because of him, I know that my product would do sales. I would want to pay that individual, right? That's the basic science of how brands think. I am paying you something doesn't mean that I love you. It's very simple. There's a business, there's a transaction that goes on. Second niche which I personally feel works really well is technology and business, be it tech reviews, unboxing, finance, and investing. It's very simple. You see smartphones coming now and then. Every company would want their product to have great number of sales, be it's any other company. Now they know that if you are doing tech reviews for the last 1 year, people trust you with what you do. People trust you with what you say, which is why they would be willing to pay you n number of any amount what you quote. Sometimes people say influencers can earn huge. Yes, they can earn huge. But let me tell you, most of them don't. Because they don't understand the power of optimizing their content. Everybody thinks about views. But the problem is, views cannot lead to a sustainable lifestyle. You can't be dependent on a video, it gets viral and it can serve the whole purpose of your life. You have to have a purpose. So all I mean to say is optimization. Okay, next. In 2024, I started my podcast journey. It's called Super Talks by The Moving Ship. Now, when I started the channel, I thought a very simple thing. If brands are not... So yes, at that time, there were these betting apps which were coming my way and they were offering me good money. But I just thought to myself, my belief system is not matching with the money that I'm getting. I always thought that belief system has to be my topmost priority, which is why today I believe my audience trusts me when I say something. They will do what I will tell them. If I have to raise my voice for a social issue, I know that 10,000 people can stand outside this college just because of my one video. This is the trust that I have built. This is the sacrifice that I have made back then. 2024, I thought to myself, if I can get views in short form content, why cannot I monetize a longer format? I started a podcast channel in 2024. In 1 year's time, let me show you some analytics. So this is the channel. In 1 year's time, we have recently crossed 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So this is what we achieved in long form content. How does this look like? So the analytics will be of the last 28 days. The first graph is of my YouTube channel, last 28 days. So I've just taken screenshots this morning. 146 million on YouTube, 281 million on Instagram, and 179 million on Facebook. Last month, our channel has crossed 605 million views, making Super Talks India's... Because of this, last month, Super Talks was ranking at number 1 in short form content. So this happened because of a few things. This is the power of optimization. So now what is happening is that I'm being paid by YouTube advertisers, Facebook advertisers, brands are coming to me, everything is happening. Why, you may ask? Belief system, curiosity. My belief system led me to think that what questions, what all things can make people curious. All those things combined helped me to go viral. Similarly, that exact blueprint could be followed on YouTube as well. I understand there are many things to be talked about, but because of the constraint of time, curiosity and optimizing your content, it's really important. Most people forget optimizing. Lastly, I think my talk would be incomplete if I don't mention about the impact. As I told you, views, numbers, fame, it's very important. I don't want to just dilute all what I've got. But I should also mention the power of impact that you create in the world. Today, I'm proud to tell you that Super Talks is not just a podcast channel. It's not just a media company. Today, we are running a free school for underprivileged children in Delhi. Over 200 underprivileged children are being taught for free of cost. So this is the impact you create. Because of Super Talks, we are able to do this. So now this NGO started back in 2016. So this NGO was before Super Talks. It was before Instagram happened. It was before everything else. Because this was one of the most important things for me. I told you my mission, to make India great again. Numbers, views, everything is important, I understand. But what is the impact that you create in the world? I'm not a true supporter of somebody who may call legacy. But I know that if today we are alive, if I can create a change in your life by maybe sharing my talk, by maybe doing something in the society, I believe it just makes your life fulfilling. Because at a certain period of time, when you will see everything, then you'll just realize what's next. And I believe that when you always have an impact in your mind, you do something bigger than numbers. Lastly, I think I would like to end by a beautiful quotation. It says, when you run alone, it's called race. But when God runs with you, it's called grace. Thank you so much.